What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to be doing another top 5. I'm actually pumping these videos out like I said I would finally. So here we go. We're going to go down from number 5 all the way to number 1. Drop any questions you have in the comments below. Any thoughts? Obviously, you might have some other order in mind, but this is my order. This is my opinion based on competitive play, ranked, your casuals. Try to combine all three. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. At number 5, we have Apollo. The reason I'm choosing Apollo for number 5 is because he has an insane increase out of nowhere of play. Shit ton of play. And it's not for his global ult, which was the main reason he was played for the longest time. It was this threat that he could split push and then rotate over. Ever since the grouping, the fact that there's like a 3-man, 4-man grouping all the time, plus the teleports on the solos, it's always been, well, not always, in this season, I guess, a little bit before this season, it's been harder to split push. Just that can't be your only strategy. So Apollo fell off, plus he had nerfs, and now he started to see some buffs. You're starting to see some more play. He has really good lane pressure with his passive, especially when he's getting red buff. He has the ability to kill Gold Fury really, really easily and very quickly, once again, because it's passive. He has the protections out of his 2, plus the shifter shield build makes him very tanky. So the 2 protections and shifter shield protections combined is just going to make Apollo that much harder to kill. I know as an assassin, it can be really annoying trying to kill an Apollo. It is not the easiest thing in the world if he knows what he's doing. So Apollo is pretty safe. You have the ult to get away when you know you're about to get ganked. You have the ult to rotate in when that is an option. Not often. You see a lot of competitive play. People use the ult for mobility just to get back to lane or to get to a buff real quick, things like that. Just because it's not a key team fight ult, which is what most people are looking at. You will not see him in every game. You won't see him do well every game, but it is a potential god for you to play in the hunter role. It is something you want to put some time into, and I do recommend it. It is a lot more fun in ranked and casuals because there is a lot less coordination, so it's easier for you to get away with a little bit more split pushing, a little bit more of the ult usage without the other team rotating properly or punishing you for rotating by pushing your lane. So go ahead and try Apollo. See how you like it. Let me know in the comments below what you think, because he is the newest to my top 5. I really didn't see him coming back into the meta anytime soon, and he's proven that he has some value. Maybe not the top value out of the hunters, but he's got some value. Number 4 on the list is Medusa. Medusa has an insane team fight ult, really good lane pressure. You actually have the anti-heal in the kit, which most people don't even pay attention to, and with all the bracers and everything else being picked up, when Medusa does get big enough to use the dash offensively, it becomes a really big deal. Once again, team fight ult is the reason she's so fucking strong. She turns a corner, hits you with the ult. It sucks. She can hit multiple people with the ult. She has a lot of burst damage. Plus, she does have the 1, which is going to make her attack faster. She does have the ability to 1v1 people. Her lane clear is very good. Her late game isn't the best just because her steroid is just her 1-2-3 auto out of her 1. And then her main abilities are her other damage other than regular auto attacks. She is a very strong god. She can do a lot of damage very quickly. And she is something you want in your god pool 110%. As I mentioned, late game, she's a little bit worse than some of the other hunters we're going to get into. But it's mainly because she doesn't have a steroid in her kit. You can take massive advantage out of her passive and her ability to side strafe without any penalties and back strafe without any movement penalties while auto attacking, which is pretty crazy. Just remember that you have that in your kit. Use it to your advantage, and you'll go a long way with Medusa. If you pair Medusa with the right gods, you don't need like an Athena to guarantee the bullshit, but anyone who burns beads or anyone who can just jump on people and be very annoying allows Medusa to push up into a team fight and kind of control when that ult needs to be used. You can use it in the perfect corridor. You can hold it for a while. She is very good at doing objectives simply because of that ult, because if you pull gold first, the other team's going to try to run in to stop it or steal it. And right when they get in the range or right when they turn that corner to come into the Gold Fury, the fire portal demon, whatever, you can just ultimate zone those people. Very easy to hit the ultimate on the tanks because they usually aren't paying that much attention to the fact that your ult's going off, especially in your casual and ranked games. It'll be a lot better. Medusa will be very strong. So that is our number 4. Number 3 on the list, Hou Yi. 2. The 2 is broken. It makes Hou Yi amazing. The ability to bounce. If you know your bounces at all, even remotely, this god is insanely dangerous. You don't need to hit the triple hits. You don't need to hit the double hits every time. But when you do get them, it completely changes a 1v1 or a 2v2, and it's insane. Plus, the ult is insanely good at zoning. It is so good at zoning. I don't think people recognize it when they're using it as much, but when you're on the other team, getting that Hou-Yi ult right in front of you and seeing it separate you from the damage you want to do is extremely frustrating. Something you have to remember on Hou-Yi. Laning phase is not terrible. Mid game is really good. Your late game is really good. Your objective is a little bit worse than some of the other hunters. Just once again, you don't really have a steroid on Hou-Yi, but the ability to shred tanks, kill tanks is there. The CC you actually have as a hunter is insane. When you put the 2 on somebody, you have the slow, you have the 1 that's gonna stun. You have mobility, which is really good. You can go over walls, which is something that a lot of hunters lack. A lot of gods right now that are played a lot lack. This god has more mobility and is a lot safer than most of the other gods. So that is our number 3. Number 2 on the list is Cernunnos. Cernunnos is going to probably always be one of the better hunters. His team fight is there. I really feel like at some points he's overrated, but with his abilities, all of his abilities, with his passive, with his team fight presence, he's gonna be overrated just because. So his ultimate, the control you get with it is easily his most underrated ability by far. Most people aren't using the ult properly. You don't need to drop it in at the start of a fight. You really want to be making sure you're paying attention to people that don't have beads, because if you're controlling those people, the ult's you're getting the most out of the ult. You're not losing anything if your ult hits a fucking solo laner and he's out of the fight for 2 seconds. People also don't realize that you're just taking control away. The person can't use anything. He's basically silent. He can still move around. He's not slowed. He's not stunned. None of that shit. So the ult isn't the best for setup. That's not what it's used for. It's used for disruption. And I think that is why the high level players, and you see this guy do well, but at the low level, people don't recognize why it's doing so well. So when you play Cernunnos, you want to look to use that ult in the middle or even towards the end of a team fight, just because at that point beads are burned. People are grouping. They're assuming the big ults are down, the big abilities are down, so they're grouping more, and it's easier to hit more people. And just focus on who has beads down, and you'll do well. Lane pressure is really good with Cernunnos. The ability to clear in the jungle, which is extremely underrated, is there. So a lot of people are starting red buff or doing it buffs at the start, or just clearing lane and then trying to get buffs cleared real quick. Cernunnos has one of the best ADC clears you're probably going to have, simply because of the cleave, the extra damage coming out of the 1. It's just super strong. Plus, this god has poke. You have a root, which is going to control more poke than you'd realize. So you're going to hit them with a 2. They're going to be rooted. If you hit them correctly, they're going to take damage. They're going to take dot damage. Plus, if they hit the root, you're hitting an auto attack at least 1 every time, unless the person runs away instantly, which is good because you're just pushing them out. So those are the strengths of Cernunnos. I'd say his biggest weaknesses, and the only reason I don't have him at number 1, is he has no direct way out of a team fight. He lacks true mobility. He does have self-peel, but anyone who has beads can just sit on Cernunnos, and there's really nothing he can fucking do about it to return and try to fight and hope it works out in his favor. That is actually very viable, and why he's still number 2 is because his ability to turn around and just fucking destroy you is there. So this god's going to be good in the early game, the mid game, the late game, and why he's number 2. Really, play a lot of Cernunnos. He's seen nerfs and he's still strong. Put some time into Cernunnos. And number 1, Rama. Rama is so damn good. You do have to go Marvels. If you guys don't know who Marvels is, he's the Rama god. And whenever you see anyone talk about pulling a Marvels, it means they don't miss their fucking ult. So you need to be good with the ultimates to make this god relevant, because you're able to dive with a hunter, which people don't recognize. Sorry, my eye itches. People don't recognize that Rama, a hunter, is able to dive without actually diving. In competitive, you see a lot where people pair Circuit or Bellona and Ravna and stuff like that with Rama, simply because they jump in, they're going to do their damage automatically, they're going to force somebody out, and Rama can ult up in the air, snipe them 3 times, 900 damage, boom, half their health is gone, plus the other 2 diving them, that person's dead. And in that whole time, Rama can't be attacked. It's just one of those things that's so underrated and so under-recognized with the lower level players, that once you guys catch on, or if you guys understand that, just using your ult isn't just the last hit. It's to put out the damage. It's used to dive. It's used to finish off targets that you know are taking damage. That there's guaranteed damage there. Put the extra guaranteed from the Rama. and that person's dead. Plus, you have amazing lane clear. The piercing is super strong. You have a steroid. You have probably the best hunter steroid in my opinion. The ability to do Gold Fury, not hunter. The ability to do Gold Fury. Any objective is there. The ability to box is there. You have lower mobility on this god, which would be a bad thing if you didn't have an ultimate that took you out of the fight for X amount of seconds. What is it, like 4 or 5? I don't even know. It's like, it feels like it's forever. It's like 5 seconds or some shit. So you have the ability to instantly roll and cripple, or defensively you're gonna roll out and you're gonna wait for your team, and that allows your team to turn more team fights rather than just have you running away the whole fucking time. And you're able to turn around and dish out damage in that time while you're sitting there waiting for your team. That just makes this kit perfectly rounded out, perfect part of any team fight, perfect part of any laning phase. There's no downside to Rama other than if you can't land your auto attack. He's got a good early, good mid, good late. He's got the potential to turn any team fight. He's got the potential to kill those people that get out last second. You see Kepri ults go off and somebody get rezzed by a Kepri ult. Rama goes in there, boom, 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 snipe. He just has a lot of presence in the game, and that is why Rama should absolutely be in your god pool. Rama's been pretty much in the meta for as long as I can remember, whether it be number 1 or like the 5th hunter being played. He's always been around, and that's why you absolutely have to be playing this god. Hopefully this video helps you guys out a little bit. I haven't really gone over the other hunters, so there are other hunters that are viable. Just because I go over the top 5 doesn't mean you can't play something else, but most of the other ones are more situational. So like a Cupid is going to be a good counter pick into high mobility other team comps, so like Circuits and Fafnirs and Terras and anyone who moves around a lot. Cupid will take advantage of that and do a lot with it, and that is why Cupid is actually still played. Anher's okay, don't recommend it. Same with Artemis and same with Scotty. They're a lot harder to play and a lot harder to get away with, and they're not as strong as the other gods. They're just not going to do as much. So those are why those don't get really recommended by me, or I don't talk about them too much. You can play Soul and Kronos in the ADC lane. It's just going to see a lot less success than all the other hunters. Takes a really, really high level of play and a lot more patience and discipline to play those gods, just because they're played completely differently. So hopefully this video helps you guys out a little bit. Hopefully it lets you understand what you need to be playing in the ADC role right now. I'm going to be trying to pump these videos out once every month or two, just to keep you guys up to date. I'm not going to go too in-depth in each god, obviously. People are like, can we see builds and stuff? I'm not going to do that stuff in these videos. These videos are simply to highlight the strong points of these gods, why they're placed in the top 5 for me. Also to detail the things that they do poorly or they might slacken. So once again, hopefully these videos are helping you. Please let me know in the comments below. Please hit the subscribe button. Still pushing for 100K. We're going to get there. I'm sure we are. Have a good day, guys, and I will see you all in either the stream or the video later tonight.